Public comment. Do we have anyone here for public comment? Yes,
Hey,
come on up and just hit the button on the microphone there. You see a red light.
right. Well, good afternoon. That was a good lunch. I mentioned to Mark that if you guys have that every month, I'll be back. So that was very good. My name is Joe Bates. I'm a Bad River tribal member. I'm also an elder, father, grandfather. I'm a hunter, fisherman, and gatherer. Over the years, combined, Bayfield County and Ashland County and the Bad River Tribe, we've always been able to work with when it comes to water and protecting our water that we have. I recall back in the early teens, 2000 teens there, we had Gogebic Taconite, tried to build the largest open pit mine in North America. And together, we successfully defeated that. They found out that, yes, we had been telling them there's too much water up there. And with the sulfide runoff, that was going to endanger not only our water, but even yours. Then we had the CAFO. I remember coming over here a lot for the CAFO when we, Gene Gnomes come up from Iowa and Rick's, I think it was Rick Farms, was trying to build a CAFO in Bayfield County at the headwaters of Chequamegon Bay. They wanted to bring in 93 million gallons of pig poo annually and dump it in the Chequamegon Bay. And together, we successfully defeated that. Woohoo. And shortly after, we had an individual that wanted to bottle artesian water and sell water that come from the aquifers around our homelands here. And together, we also defeated that because we told them no. Now today, our threat is Enbridge Pipeline 5. That pipeline has been here since it was put into service 1953. It was done by the BIA and Lake Head Pipeline Company at the time. Bad River Tribe had no say in it. We didn't sign that agreement with the pipeline company. Well, Enbridge is now the owner of that pipeline. Enbridge is solely responsible for 33 leaks and over 1 million gallons in oil that's polluted fresh water and land. Enbridge is now trespassing. They're trespassing across the Bad River Reservation. They have been since 2013. And in 2017, that's when the tribe said, enough's enough. We want you gone. We want you out. So what they did was they obtained their reroute by offering money. And they didn't have to push for eminent domain to take your land. Well, now they're going to go with a reroute. Okay, so they're threatening us with a reroute. You guys either let us stay here or we're going to build around you. But now we're looking at additional threats to our water resources. We're looking at, again, sulfide runoff from dynamiting rock on their reroute. We're going to be looking at digging up old earth beds, peat, the peat fields, well, the waterways that they have in Iron County, the wetlands, the county forests. They currently have a swath that's at least 80 feet wide and possibly more. I've personally gone up with a drone and droned the entire reroute to see the mark that they're leaving on Mother Earth will be visible from the satellites.
Joe, I hate to interrupt you, but we have I should have announced this before you stepped up. We have a 3-minute time period. So if you could wrap up your comments, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Certainly. Thank you very much. So in closing, all of these battles that we've won together, we've done it by telling them no. We're not going to allow this to happen. I know that Bayfield or Enbridge currently trespasses through the Bayfield County National Forest. They're trespassing across Bad River. It's time to tell them no. No to Enbridge. Thank you for your
Joe.
time.
Thank you very much. And I think we have one person online. Do we have someone online? Matthew? Matthew, are you there? There we go.
Yes. Public Safety Services, it lists event, activity, or project, but project is not defined except under number 5, there's extended duration project. So just like some clearing up of those definitions.
Certainly, we can do that.
And then another one under section 6.5, it references a high impact project. Like, what's a high impact? I mean, are we talking concussions, or are we talking dollars? Or are we talking, so, and then I was unclear in this whether or not an agreement is required to recover costs. It sounds to me like there's there's good language in here about, setting up agreement with these projects that we know are coming or something, but I'm thinking about, what if there's an event or something we had decided there wasn't going to be an agreement, or we couldn't get an agreement with somebody, and my read of 5.1, section 5.1 is that no, we could still try and recover costs. So just a little clarification on, do we need an agreement before we're going to recover costs? Do we not need an agreement? Is that just make it clearer and easier to recover costs? Or, and the last one was also on similar, do we need an agreement required to recover damages under section 8?
Okay.
I was wondering if that high impact caught my eye too, and I was wondering, is that referring to the number of people who may show up for an event? Is it related to that?
I think that's a part of it. Sorry, I'm going back to where we saw the high
6.5, I think, or what was it? No, or
3, section 3.
Section 3?
definition.
6.5, yeah, 6.5.
Sorry, no, it was further down. It was in section 6, you said? Section 6.3. Looking for there it is, for section or unit or number 5 under section 6. So primarily, I think that, and this went through many iterations between John and the administration, but generally speaking, that's either going to be something that will require clearly a lot of extra the extraordinary services from our public safety, whether it's, they want somebody on standby, they want, because there's a significant crowd, but it can also be in terms of the impact on the landscape. So if we have an event where there are thousands of people in a place that doesn't have sanitary infrastructure, for example, we're going to want to be aware that that is a situation that we should plan for. So I think it applies in a couple of different ways, but happy to try to clarify that a little further.
Thank you. Anything else? Fred?
Yes, section 5.1 talks about recovery of actual cost. Would that also include mutual aid costs if we needed them and had to pay them?
Yes.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Yep.
Jeff?
Quick question about section 6.7. It's having an agreement when feasible. So is there sort of a criteria for that? So if there's I'm guessing that's if there's an emergency, there isn't going to be time for an agreement, or kind of how does that work? Section 6.7.
So in section 4, it is outlined some of the things that would trigger the requirement for an agreement. Whether that means that, if we need to supply people for traffic control or closing roads or dedicated assignments, standby, that sort of thing. Those are the things that will trigger the need for an agreement. And partly the section that you referenced, when feasible, maybe there's one that is a newer event that we haven't dealt with before, and we kind of realize as things are getting closer that it might be required. Ideally, we have something like this from the outset so that, expectations are set, but that might not always be the case.
Anyone else? Steve?
That section 3, item 4. I was just wondering if the use of the word property, to me, when I read that, it was sort of a catch-all instead of saying ball field, music venue, county, fairgrounds. It's any property. So I didn't link that to meaning Bayfield County.
We can clarify that,
Yeah.
make sure it's clear.
Property?
I think it's also just kind of tying it to an event that happens in a given location. And I think you're right, it wanted some flexibility to not necessarily articulate every kind of venue where such a thing could occur.
With that, we'll bring it back next month.
Yep.
Perfect. Thanks.
No more comments?